Welcome back to Crazy Ex Podcast. This time, Roger and I watched Season 1, Episode 14, Josh is Going to Hawaii. As always, we'll start off with a synopsis. Reeling from their kiss, Josh is determined to tell Valencia, even though he's sure she'll break up with him. When Rebecca discovers that Valencia thinks Josh is going to propose, Rebecca suddenly realizes that she's the villain in her story. In a surprise turn, Valencia forgives Josh, and Rebecca is left alone and broke, knowing that Josh doesn't love her. Roger, what do you think of this episode?
It felt like the conclusion that I wanted, but I don't think most viewers wanted this conclusion. Like, I definitely feel like I'm rooting for this. It's like when Rumpel, I wanted him to get the win when he wasn't going to. I felt like Rebecca got the loss in a way that I didn't expect. And I don't think most people who watch this wanted this to happen.
I think that your perception of what people want from the show is interesting.
I think your perception of what people want from the show is
interesting. Well, I know what the show is about and what the intentions of the show are.
Sure. But I think you don't account for how many bad people there simply are. Who don't actually have a problem with what she's doing. I mean, you yourself have said that, like, you think that I think cheating is worse than it is. Like, even you have less of a...
Yeah, you think cheating is horrifyingly bad.
Which is funny coming to someone who thinks lying is really bad.
That's the thing about cheating that actually really bothers me. Lying.
What other thing about cheating is there?
Oh, the gross body touching. I don't know.
What? What? The only part that's wrong is the lying. That's literally it. I don't even know what else about cheating is wrong other than the lying.
You know, there's like, you put the things together and then you put your thing in somebody else's thing and then you put the things back together. That's gross.
So you think open relationships are gross?
Yeah, a little bit.
Or like,
I mean, I guess if you know about it, that's I don't want to do it. But if everybody knows about it, then it's less gross.
So as long as there's no lying.
Yeah.
Okay. Glad we cleared that up. I'm somehow more confused.
So what you wanted to have happened in this episode, but what did you think of it? Did you like it?
A bit. I guess the thing that was disappointing was that it has become clear to me that Paula is a terrible person.
Yeah. That
I thought maybe she was just like doing this for amusement, but I think she's just a bad person, and that's unfortunate. Yeah, I'm glad that Rebecca got there. Like, she got to the point where she's the villain.
Well, and in fact, she gets there, like, she almost gets there earlier, and and Paula, like...
talks her out of it.
Yep.
Yeah, Paula is, like, the bad influence friend. Question for you. The song, I'm the villain in my own story, what is it based off of?
I would have to assume a Disney villain song.
Yes, but what song? And you, of all people, should know this, and that's your only clue.
I should know this.
Absolutely.
Why me specifically and not other people?
I can't tell you that until you guess.
I don't think I'm going to get it. I'd have to think about it for a while. Can I think about it and then
sure,
we can come back to it?
Sure, we can come back to that. Listeners, you're welcome to guess as well and see if you get it right. Be honest. Yeah, so I guess what is surprising to me, and this is actually played out in a different way and with the money, so it's a good parallel, is that it's like Rebecca didn't realize the consequences of what she had been doing up until she saw Valencia excited, and it was like, well, duh, you had literally been trying to do this the entire time. Did she literally never factor in what this might do to Valencia?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's like the point of the framing of the song. Like, she saw Valencia as the villain. Like, sure. Valencia, and to some, like, I'm not defending Rebecca, but, like, the look on Josh's face at the end of the episode, like, Valencia sometimes acts like a villain. So it's hard, like, the show set us up to see her as one. And then, like, as you've mentioned, like, there was a couple episodes ago where we felt bad for her. Mm-hmm. And, like, we're starting to know more about Valencia. Because, like, we actually don't know very much about her.
I mean, so here's the thing. I don't think Valencia is a good person. Because, sure. Like, I mean, the song Women Gotta Stick Together was a perfect representation of who she is that, like, she's a bitch. But, like, if they had a history where, like, Rebecca was dating Josh and Valencia stole her in the first place, you know, what's one of my favorite lines? All is fair in love and war, but there's casualties in both. All right, fine, we're playing this game. Valencia didn't really do anything to Rebecca other than try to expose her lie. Mm-hmm. So this feels like one of those things, and I think Paula has done this many times. She does that in that conversation, like, oh, she's wrong for him, and it's okay what you're doing. I'm just like...
I completely... It's not... What Rebecca is doing is not okay.
Yeah.
I think that it's easier to see Valencia as a villain because she's kind of mean. Like, she's just mean to people.
She's intense. She's mean. She isn't...
And she's not particularly mean to Rebecca, like, specifically. I mean, not more than she is to just other women in general.
That's not a good defense when you're arguing. Is that like, well, yeah, I'm not meaner to you. I'm just mean to everyone all the time. It's like, whoa, so you're just a bad person to everyone? Yeah. Cool. But I think the problem with it is that, like, Paula looks at it as that, like, it's justifiable because Valencia is mean. And, like, I think, like, all lies have an element of truth. She isn't wrong that I don't think Valencia treats Josh well. I don't think Josh is going to be happy with her. We kind of see the look on Josh's face at the end. We're like, this kind of sucks. But, like, then you should have just gotten to the point where, like, you need to go, man.
Yeah.
So that was, that's what, I guess the way it looks is that, like, when, like, the happy ending happens, all the characters are happy. When the bad thing happens, all the characters are, like, unhappy. This felt like it was supposed to be the unhappy ending that we were, like, not happy for. But I was like, but this is the happy ending, in my opinion. For Rebecca, like, this is the right ending. For Josh, it's the wrong ending. For Valencia, I'm unclear.
Well, yeah, because I mean, you also don't want to be with a person that is unhappy with you. And I don't know that she's happy either. Like, I think that they both think that this is what they're supposed to do because they've been together for so long.
I don't know.
Josh and Valencia.
Yeah, I know you're talking about Josh and Valencia. I think they want such different things that, like, it makes sense to me that, like, Valencia kind of, and I said this before, she just kind of wants a puppet to control. So, like, yeah, why would she kick him out and start all over and have to, like, retrain another guy? Like, the fact that he did a thing, she doesn't love him like that. Like, he's just a thing to accomplish a task. I also suspect she might be cheating.
We also got, like, an interesting... I mean, we still don't know very much about her, but when she forgives Josh, she says, I understand why you did it. Like, Rebecca is different and interesting. Like, Valencia... Which makes me think that Valencia has some self-esteem issues about not just... Like, she's like, I'm beautiful but empty, sort of.
Oh, like, she's self-aware enough to know that her only interest is that guys find her hot?
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, she's pretty vapid, right? Like, she doesn't really have...
But I feel like having that thought is a sign of not being vapid.
You know, it's funny, that's what narcissists say. Like, if you question whether you're a narcissist, then you can't be a narcissist. And it's like, that's just never been true in any other scenario. Like,
but I feel like being, like, vapid is different. Because if you're having a deep thought, then you're not vapid.
Put it like this. You can be a shallow person and have a deep thought.
Okay.
You're still shallow. You just had a deep thought.
Well, I'm hoping that we'll get to know more about Valencia.
I would assume we would, logically speaking. So that was I have to admit, for the first time in a while, that was an interesting twist. I did not see us going that direction. Also, God, Rebecca is insane. She stole Paula's car to go... What was she going to go do?
She was going to go tell Josh not to tell Valencia. Which I also don't know if that's the right thing.
What's the right thing?
I don't think it was the right thing for Josh not to tell Valencia.
Of course not. That's why Rebecca wanted to do it. Usually the wrong side of history is wherever Rebecca's at.
Well, but Rebecca wanted to do it because she didn't want Valencia's feelings to get hurt.
Yeah, but the only reason she wanted him to tell her was so that she would break up with him.
Right. And then she changes her mind and doesn't want him to tell her.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Now you get into, like, this bizarre moral quandary of, is telling her the right thing? Because, like, you're just alleviating your guilt to make the other person have to deal with the problem. But also, that also sounds like, well, I'm just justifying the lie. Like, there's no good answer either way, particularly speaking, because you just shouldn't have done the thing.
I mean, also, I think the thing is that Josh needs to investigate why he did the thing.
Well, yeah. But the other thing that's odd is that, like, and I think this is the part that's interesting, is that, like, he's aware that he doesn't love Rebecca. Like, he says that.
Yep.
And he says it emphatically. So he shouldn't be with her, but he's clearly got an issue with Valencia.
Yeah.
So should he not be with her either?
Maybe.
Yeah. This is the strangest love triangle. And I can't...
Who's rooting for who in this love triangle now?
I am rooting for Josh to be single.
Yeah. I mean, the people in the love triangle.
Yeah.
Who's rooting for who in the love triangle now?
I don't know. I really don't know. This is weird. It's a very weird scenario where, like, both outcomes seem wrong. Like, if you said Josh stays with Valencia, I go, that's wrong. Mm-hmm. But if you said Josh goes with Rebecca, I'm like, I don't think that's right either. And, like, when I say right, I'm not talking about morally right. I just mean, like, I don't think Josh is really going to be happy. Mm-hmm. And I don't think Rebecca's going to be happy. I think Rebecca thinks she's going to be happy. Kind of like the way you feel about revenge. Where, like, it can make you feel good for a moment, and then you're going to realize, like, this isn't really what I wanted.
Yeah.
Also, and we haven't really talked about this, but I've made this joke many times. There is something to the idea that when you have, like, this image and you put somebody on a pedestal, mm-hmm. they're never going to live up to, like, the perfect version of themselves. And she has basically made Josh be perfect in her mind.
Well, and, like, the way that she keeps describing what she was seeing the scenario as before she sees herself as the villain is Josh is the prince, mm-hmm. and I'm the princess. So, mm-hmm. like, he's a perfect, unattainable person that she needs to save from the villain, Valencia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he is the perfect man who just needs the perfect woman, which is like, but that's all you can do is match that. You can't exceed that.
I can't figure out the song. You have to tell me what it is. I can't stop thinking about it. It's distracting.
You said you were going to come back to it later. Later has arrived.
Later has arrived.
You're going to be kind of mad at yourself. The song, and I looked this up based on the website, is based upon the 1989 Disney animated film The Little Mermaid, Poor Unfortunate Souls.
Oh, yeah. It definitely has the same beat as
mm-hmm.
Poor Unfortunate Souls. It doesn't have the same... Ursula does not think that...
No. The theme is very different.
Although, actually, I guess the theme is opposite. Because Ursula thinks that she is the put-upon victim and not the villain.
Oh, does she?
So, yeah.
Interesting. Like, I did not know that.
Mm-hmm. Huh. Like, she thinks that she's, like, wrongly branded as the Sea Witch and that Triton has wronged her, etc.
Now, remind me, the Sea Witch Ursula makes deals with people in a Rumpelstiltskin-like manner, and when they don't do the thing, she traps them, correct?
Yeah.
And so that person thinks that she is the wronged one.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Okay. She only has to do these things because people don't live up to their end of the bargain, Roger.
Yeah. Look, who hasn't had to recollect a debt and turn somebody into an ornament for their wall?
They're not even cool ornaments. They're these, like, weird, ugly little, like, kelp-looking things.
Maybe that's cool to a sea witch.
Maybe it is. That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, where are we now? We're still in the A plot.
Still in the A plot. Also, okay, so we talked about the relationship part of the A plot, which is fine. And you have alluded to this, and I had always wondered whether this is a spoiler or were you just kind of thinking out loud about, like, Rebecca spends a lot of money recklessly, which we've noted. She does. And they kind of answer all of the questions. It's like, well, I mean, she made a fuck ton of money. Like, she had savings. Oh, you just don't think about money. Oh, you don't even know how much money you make?
I love that this is like it's like a sitcom trope that people just have money that, like, they just endlessly spend money and we never talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, Friends, I think, address this.
They have one episode where they talk about it. But then there's no, like, actual consequences later of it. Like, people don't start doing, like, they continue to drink coffee and sit in the coffee shop in the middle of the day all the time.
I mean, it makes sense for the three that have it.
Yeah.
I can't remember who the three are.
Well, it makes sense that they spend a lot of money. It does not make sense that they sit in the coffee shop in the middle of the day all the time.
They actually addressed that one time. Like, of all people, it's Joey who calls them out. And he's like, yeah, my boss is always mad at me. And she's like, well, maybe it's because you spend all your time during the workday sitting at a coffee shop instead of getting to your job. And then, like, all of them leave, and he's just like, I'm not working, so this is fine for me. And I was like, oh my God, Joey was the smart one.
Yeah, it's, I mean, Paula is rightly so offended. She's like, you think you own your leased car? You think you can sell your leased car? You don't know how much money you make?
So that is, I guess, the fascinating dichotomy of humans. In one instance, Paula is very reasonable, very logical, mm-hmm. and finds it to be absurd. And yet, the same person, when dealing with that same friend, seems to have no common sense when it comes to a relationship, but understands the concept of, like, of course you have to know how much money you make. Like, it is weird seeing her flip that switch from like psycho-enabling friend to like logical, well, yeah, this is just how the world works.
I mean, I think it's partially that Paula in general is like a practical human being about life. And cynical, but also practical.
Agreed.
But she, like, her friendship with Rebecca and, like, the Josh obsession is, like, an escape for Paula. So she will do things that are impractical or insane.
But, I mean, like, it's a little bit beyond that because, like, she doesn't see anything wrong with what they're doing.
No.
Like, it's not... Like,
it's because she thinks that Valencia is a villain.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't even...
You don't think she cares?
I think if...
Maybe she doesn't.
Like, I think if Valencia were the perfect girlfriend who treated her perfectly, she would still do this.
Well, and actually, I think you're right that Paula doesn't care. Paula cares about the high that she gets from helping Rebecca with the situation. Because even when it's... Like, I know we can't always trust what Rebecca says, but Rebecca, like... expresses misgivings in this episode, and then Paula is like, no!
You're fine. Or you think about, like, when she sees Rebecca happy having that moment with Greg, she's like, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Like, because it's not about what makes Rebecca happy, it's not about what's right, it's about, like, oh, I want to win. I want to get them together and, like, fulfill my destiny, or whatever the fuck her thing is. And it's like, but that's okay. She's just
and I think interesting too, I mean, I know you don't watch rom-coms, but the way that they keep making the joke about Paula being like the funny best friend in a rom-com, like Paula is the funny best friend in a rom-com.
Is she?
I mean, like, the way that they've set her up in the show, like, Rebecca is the lead, and Paula is her...
sassy big friend.
Yep, exactly. And they're... They even depict her as a singing raccoon. Because Rebecca clearly has a more, like, fairy tale-esque outlook on what's happening.
She sees herself as Snow White looking for her Prince Charming, and Valencia is the evil queen. Appropriate for us, considering the other show that we do. Whereas, I think Rebecca looks at this as like a Hugh Grant movie.
You mean Paula? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Paula looks at this as like one of those awful Julia Roberts, Hugh Grant... 2.5-star movies, which is a term I've never heard.
I've never heard anyone like.
I don't watch those.
A B movie I've heard, or like, but that's usually like more like horror.
I think B movie is just lower quality.
Yeah.
I think they're talking about like how much audiences like it. I'm assuming when they talk about like I can't think of a rom com like Harry Met Sally. Is that a rom com?
Yeah, that one's good though.
Yeah, I know. You watch bad rom coms. Gotta be one. Pretty Woman.
Sure. Yeah, Pretty Woman, My Best Friend's Wedding.
Yeah, you're getting it. Yeah.
Also Julia Roberts.
Okay, you're out of my depth now. Notting Hill? Is that a thing?
Julia Roberts.
Why do I know so much Hugh Grant stuff? This must have happened when I was like in Best Buy or something.
I mean, Julia Roberts was once everywhere. It was... Especially, you probably know, like, at a time when you watched television that had commercials. Like, how could you... They just, like, came into your mind.
Well, I also think she's everywhere because I'm of an age where Blockbuster and movie rentals were a thing. I'm pretty sure just as a kid, you would just walk by them and you see all of her movies. Because not like I was watching them, but I'm sure I know the cover to Pretty Woman. Yeah, so, like, and then, like, I don't... Like, Rebecca's... I keep saying she's not dumb. I'm now revising that too. She's dumb. Like, she just is dumb. There's no way this high-powered attorney had no understanding of the way finances work.
I guess if you just never had to think about it before.
Ever? Like, was her mom rich? Her mom and dad didn't look like they were making money, so she would have had to think about money when she was younger. And that doesn't go away.
Yeah, that's hard to say. Because her parents, I mean, they live in probably Westchester County in New York. Like, I think they were well off, but we don't know very much about her dad.
I mean, Naomi's a single mom.
Right.
I mean,
that doesn't mean she's not getting, like, child support or spousal support or has family money.
Their dynamic didn't seem like two high-powered people having a fight. It seemed like daddy's drunken with his whore, and like they seemed middle class.
Well, I also think that that's like part of the thing that like he's not Jewish.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And not that means Jewish equals rich, but like he
have all the money.
They have all the money. He's from a different. I think. They met on a cruise, apparently.
I think he's a different class.
Yeah, I think that she might be wealthy and he was not.
So he has like old money.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes some sense. Because, like, yeah, it never... They didn't come off as the type that, like... You know, in sitcoms, usually, like, I come from money, and they're all, like...
Yeah.
Like, Greg's parents, you know, like, they seem like they're living a pretty good life.
Greg's parents?
Yeah. Greg's parents? Like, they seem like they're living upper-middle-class life.
Oh, Greg's mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Greg
not
and his dad are not doing that.
But the mom and the stepdad
Yeah,
are,
yes.
you know... what do we call it? A Norman Rockwell painting or something
Yeah.
like that? Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, she's in financial trouble. And then she spent all the money that she made to buy a ticket to Hawaii.
And clothes and donuts from the China. Like, she has a problem.
Yeah.
But she has no concept of managing money. A joke that she later makes, like...
In
ooh,
the song.
Yeah.
I should
the
be
CFO.
Satan's CFO. Wait, I'm terrible with money.
Yeah. Yeah, this was an interesting episode for me. Also, the point where they have... I'm going back to the relationship. Valencia is, like, standing in front of the religious thing, and she kind of, like, glows for a moment.
That was great.
That was funny.
Well, like, especially hearkening back to
Yeah.
what Father Bra said in the opening of the episode. I also love that Father Bra has back problems, so he smokes weed.
He inspired me. Also, damn, what a story. He lied, and then that lie caused his brother to become a heroin addict who joined a cult.
Yep. What did he say? I blamed my baby brother for that baby bunny body. That was the first step in my brother becoming a hardcore heroin addict.
Which probably isn't, but I think he blames himself for that.
Yep. Okay. Anything else on the A plot that you want to talk about?
I don't think so. I guess maybe the last thing is that they do a bit of a gag at the beginning where she just, like, keeps canceling on her therapist.
Dr. Copian.
Correct. Which is, like, what a very Rebecca thing to do.
Yep.
Instead of addressing the problem, I'm just going to run from it because now I've gotten my fix with Josh. And then, of course, at the end, it comes full circle where they're both stuck on a flight to Hawaii for 5 hours with no other seats available. And then they decide to finally do some therapy, which seems not appropriate.
No, it really doesn't. I can't imagine being trapped on a plane with your therapist or Rebecca, really, either way.
Yeah, I was like...
and a 5-hour therapy session in front of other people.
that is the part that I'm like, but now we're going to be talking about some shit that I may not want to share with the entire group. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so they do come back to it, which I appreciate.
I guess we also didn't talk about so Rebecca gave the files from the case to a reporter, and he busted the case open. So I wonder if people will get money now?
I would assume so.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're fixing
they will
the issue.
reopen a case or something.
Yeah, so it's like they got to the right result for the wrong reason, but they got there.
Well, I feel like that's what they should have done in the first place.
Agreed. Well, they didn't have the files to the middle of the court case, but yeah, you're right. They should have just let a reporter investigate and figure out what was going wrong, but Rebecca's motivation was to
spend time with Josh.
Correct.
Yep.
Okay, that's enough of the A-plot.
Do you want to talk about Darryl and White Josh, or Heather and Greg?
Well, let's talk about Heather and Greg, because that feels like a more natural segue. Greg's plan blew up in his face. I don't know, like, I want to like Greg. I really, really want to like Greg. But the more we go through, the more I just look at him and shake my head. I'm like, you sad, pathetic simp. Yeah, I don't... Like, what in his mind, what was going to happen? I'm very curious about.
You mean like when he raced?
Yeah. Was he going to race down to the courthouse? She was going to jump longingly into his arms and they go live happily ever after?
That's a great question. I don't know that he thought about it.
Yeah. And, like, it's funny because as a general rule, I think relationship tests are stupid. Like, it's just a bad idea. But, like, Heather's test there was smart because the right answer was, yeah, I've got feelings for her, but, like, I'm working to move past it because she's wrong for me.
Or the alternative, even though Heather is upset, is that he didn't choose her and now she knows that, like, this isn't the right relationship for me to be in right now.
Yeah.
I actually really like Heather's response because she's, like, upset because you would be upset.
Of course.
But she also is, like, not trying to, like, get back with Greg or whatever. She's just like, yeah, I'm angry and sad, and you're going to have to deal with that. And I'm so good at this job.
Yeah. So, again, another example. Very self-aware of her emotions, and I'm really good at this job. And Greg's like, this isn't the time. It's like, no, you're actually really bad at this job.
I also love that Chris, the little kid, it just like totally calls exactly what's going to happen. That look, that smug look when Heather finally yells at Greg on Chris's face.
It is funny to me, and this show does a pretty good job of highlighting that like, we often mock like high schoolers, like, oh my god, they're so immature and they overreact to all these situations, and why can't they just handle it like grown-ups? I'm like, this is how grown-ups handle things. Like, people, it's like, if you've ever been in a workplace, it's very similar to high school. There's dumbass gossip, there's politics, there are people who, like, it basically is a training ground for how the rest of your life will go.
Yeah.
It is very weird in that way, and I'm like, yeah, adults don't handle breakups any better. They just learn to hide it with alcohol and lies. And they're not forced usually to be around each other all the time. That's why you don't date people in your workplace.
It's true. It's true. Or it's not even like they met at work. He brought her there when they were already dating.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a small workplace. Like, it's not that weird when you work at a place that has, like, 500 employees and you date someone in accounting or whatever.
Absolutely. The chances you're going to run into them are going to be few and far between. This is... Y'all don't see each other a lot all the time.
Yeah. Yep.
I liked Rebecca. I liked Heather's response. I'm very curious to see what Greg does from here, because he didn't address the problem.
Well, and when he says, Heather, I messed up, and she says, yeah, but that's just what you do, the look on his face.
Because he knew she was right.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like a thing he could deny. You just fuck it up. Like, I mean, he did it with wasting all that time being angry at his mom.
Yeah.
And and you've alluded to this, and I'm wondering, like, I wonder if at some level, did he inherit that self-destructive behavior from his father? Like, are they both just... Like, not that they're bad people, but, like, they just kind of self-sabotage in a way that, like, you're your own worst enemy. Mm-hmm. Like, the fact that he's attracted to women that don't want to give him the time of day. Like, he knows it, but he can't help it.
Yeah. White Josh and Darryl.
Definitely the best part of the episode. Definitely the best part of the episode.
I love the Huey Lewis and the News, like, Getting By song, and everyone in the office just looking so fucking bored and irritated.
Yeah. Look, this office place is obviously strange.
Yes.
I don't know how I would react if we called a staff meeting. I mean, I lie. I know how to react. You wasted my time for this would be my reaction. I don't need to be... This could have been an email.
Well, or... Like, you don't need to announce that. Like, it would be very normal to be, like, getting coffee in the kitchen and being like, oh, I, like, went out with a dude last night. Like that, like, just having a conversation with someone about, like, I'm dating someone or whatever.
It is a bit of a stark change because he was married to a woman before.
But...
So that's not really the way you should probably throw that out there.
But you also don't call a staff meeting.
Nope.
Like, it's just not...
That's not what you do.
Like, even, like, you wouldn't call a staff meeting to be like, I'm getting married. Like, you wouldn't.
I guess if all of you were invited and I was saying we're going to close the office that day or something.
Okay,
the only way that could make sense. We're like, hey, we're all close friends, like, and we're going to close the office this day because I'm going to get married. Like, fine. But, like, it's not, Darryl, we don't really need to know this.
I also, like, I mean, the song is just kind of fun. It's like an 80s fun song. But it also, like, breaks down a lot of stereotypes about bisexuality, which is great.
How so?
Like, it's not a phase. I'm not confused. Like, those are things that people often say. Like, a lot of people do not, like, bi erasure. People don't think that bisexuality exists.
Huh. I know that.
Like, people think that...
I mean, more so than, like, I know people think you can just pray the gay away, so I'm assuming it's in the same concept.
It's more like, you're either straight or gay, and, like, you're just confused right now. Or you're denying that you're gay.
All right.
Yeah, that's a real thing. Look up bi erasure.
I don't think that I will.
Okay.
I just take your word for this one.
Yeah, I like the song. I like when they give... Darryl's not, like, a great singer, like, the actor. He's fine. But they often give him, like, really fun songs that are great.
Yeah, I feel like he gets the comedy songs pretty well. Huh. A phase.
He's not, like, he's not a technically trained singer.
Yeah. But he's there to do the, like, the weird song about his daughter, or the...
I love my daughter, not in a creepy way.
Yeah, like, he's there to bring the funny in his songs.
Yeah.
He's not usually there to bring, like, Paul is there to bring the pipes.
Oh. There's more. I can't wait.
Yeah. Yeah, I will say the one thing that I think Darryl and White Josh need to address is that, like, they're very different.
Yeah.
And, like, he took him to a restaurant of, like, ignore the two dudes having a date. That's a weird place to take someone on a first date.
It is.
That's like a fancy, and he's wearing like Darryl has no ability to read the situation. That's probably where him and his wife went or something for some.
I will now be saying flip-flop friendly when describing restaurants for the rest of my life.
As you should. I mean, listen.
And I'm pro restaurants that are not flip-flop friendly. Like, I like fancy food, but not on a first date.
I am not pro any dress code of a restaurant. I think it is just another form of elitism. I get it. It's your right to do so. I just am not pro it.
Yeah, I guess I don't actually care if people wear flip-flops, but
like what
the concept of a fancy restaurant.
Yeah, no, I
like
it.
the food that they serve me.
I do appreciate the food. I just don't think that my enjoyment of food is defined by the dude over there who's wearing a suit or if he's wearing flip-flops. Like,
yeah. I mean, I can get down with, like, no shirt. Like, you need to be wearing a shirt
sure,
at a restaurant.
That's... You have to wear a shirt to go to McDonald's. Like, I'm not saying you can walk in there like it's a beach, but I don't really care if you're wearing tennis shoes, jeans, and a plaid shirt, or if you're dressed in a three-piece suit. Like, that just doesn't matter to me.
But that actually is an interesting point. Like, they do have some things in common. Like, they both like the gym.
Yeah.
But we don't know very much about either of them to know other things that they have in common. But they clearly really like each other.
Yeah.
And Josh, I think White Josh is sort of, like, as he said in the last episode, I already, like, I don't need to be part of your, like, being in the closet situation.
Well, he already went through this.
Yeah.
Like, he knows this is I think Darryl's just like, oh, I've got it figured out now. And he's like, no, you don't.
You don't got it figured out.
Like, you got to go through some steps first and kind of get to where you need to get before this is going to not be a problem, which is smart.
But I also think that, White Josh is, because he just tells Darryl to, like, relax, date some other people.
I'm so relaxed right now.
But then, also, when Darryl tells him that he went out with a couple other people, and he didn't like any of them as much as Josh is like, that's really sweet. So I think he's, like, looking for something a little more serious, maybe, but would like it to progress in a natural pattern and not jump to your 50th wedding anniversary.
What is it? I'm going to have you meet my coworkers. That's not a stage in anyone's relationship.
No, yeah.
Yeah. That is. I mean, it's funny, though, in a way it is. Like, you end up usually meeting your partner's coworkers.
But usually only ones that they're either, like, at a Christmas party.
Yeah. Or
ones that they're friends with. Which
Correct.
would be a weird way to describe it. Like, you would just say, I want you to meet my friends.
Yep. But, like, it is funny. Like, we don't think of that. Like, you think of meet my parents, meet my friends. Like, those are stages. But, like, usually people will bring their spouse, their partner to that is like a...
Like, you probably wouldn't bring a person that you've been on one date with to a work Christmas party.
Absolutely not. But if you've been seeing this person for, like, 6 months or something, usually you'll bring them to a staff party or something. Yeah. But we don't think of it like a stage in a relationship that, like, bringing home to mom, that's, like, a big deal. But maybe it should be treated that way. Anything else you want to talk about?
I just have a few lines. Do you have anything else?
Okay. I will say, I want to talk one more thing about the Valencia thing. Who was she talking to on the phone?
Her mom.
It was her mom. We know Josh's parents' side of the relationship. I really want to know Valencia's parents' side of the relationship. Because Josh's parents do not like her. Like, that is abundantly clear. Rebecca's parents' mother does not like Josh. She thinks he's a loser. Mm-hmm. She's not entirely wrong. I really want to know what Valencia's parents... Like, does Valencia's parents see Josh the same way that Naomi sees him?
Or even in some ways that Valencia does.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that has to come from somewhere.
Well, and also, like, or is it just, like, if we meet the parents and Valencia's mom treats her dad like that, maybe this is what Valencia thinks relationships should look like. Like, it's just normal.
Or it's possible that her parents like Josh because he's nice.
It could be. Could be. I mean, I want that question answered.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good question. And Valencia has rings on hold at every store just in case Josh thinks about buying one.
I didn't know you could do that.
Me either.
Wow. That's... I don't remember... You're old enough to remember this. So, in 2007, that was going to be the year of 777. And, people think 7 is just a magical lucky number. So there were women reserving wedding dates.
Oh my God.
And, people who actually were engaged couldn't get married on that day because people who didn't even have a boyfriend were reserving, I need this wedding date, 1 o'clock on 777.
Because if you get married on the lucky day, your marriage will be lucky? Okay. That's very confusing.
I just remember laughing when I heard that. And, it was a thing where people would be like, I mean, they're not going to tell you no, but, this is stupid. You're actually hurting people who really need to do this just so you can have some stupid fairy tale. Okay, let's go to lines. I have 2 that we didn't talk about.
4?
Go.
4?
That we didn't touch
already. God knows why you have a shrink in the first place when you have me. I give such great advice.
That was one of mine. Couldn't be more wrong.
Yeah, Paula, no.
And yet, though, in the money, she does give good advice, so she is capable of it.
You probably don't have this one because you don't like awkward Rebecca, but when Josh comes to talk to Rebecca about how he wants to confess to Valencia, he's like, I have a girlfriend and you have a boyfriend. And Rebecca's like, what? I don't have a boyfriend. And she's like, oh, Trent. And then she tries to explain him away in this stream of consciousness series of things, which she says no, he's tall. It doesn't matter. He's dead. Which, that's all fine. But my favorite part is that Josh is just completely unfazed by what she said because she says crazy shit like that all the time.
I actually did like no, it's fine, it's tall, he's not there, he's dead. And I'm just like...
It doesn't matter. He's tall.
And what she really meant, the idea of him is dead, but, that's not a thing that you just drop out and people are just like, all right, let's just roll with it. But she's so crazy, he's just like, whatever. And also he's kind of consumed by his, own issue. Okay, what else you got?
When Chris is looking at the picture of Rebecca in the newspaper from the courthouse, and he says, she's looking sharp in that suit. It really highlights her brains and her tactical thinking skills.
Not at all how I would describe Rebecca in most scenarios.
Yeah.
Also, that's a funny thing to hear kids say.
I know.
No, that's good. What's your last line?
Who's she talking to?
What's
Rebecca, I'm just trying to go to Hawaii with someone else's boyfriend.
The
pawn shop owner.
Yeah. The guy who says all...
That came out wrong.
So that was right before he says all's fair in love and war, but there are casualties in both.
Mm-hmm.
I also had the Josh kind of breaking Rebecca's heart with the kissing you was wrong. It was like, yeah, no shit. Mm-hmm. Glad we all got to the same page.
Mm-hmm.
Well, especially because, again, there are scenarios which is not that big of a deal. They had been drunk, shit happens, fine. That was a very clear, premeditated... Yeah.
I feel like I didn't think very long about any of my favorites in this, or most ridiculous in this episode.
Interesting.
I have one favorite, and I bet that any one that you say, I'll be like, yep, that too, also.
I doubt that, but okay, go ahead.
Valencia forgiving Josh with the Madonna imagery behind her. I just thought that was a brilliant, they started the episode with that and then they ended. I loved it. It was a visual gag. I don't necessarily think that they should be together, etc.
Sure.
But I just thought that was great.
I actually didn't have a favorite moment. Other than, I guess, the concept of she got what she deserved. But yeah, I wouldn't say it was a favorite moment. It was kind of just about time, if that makes sense. I did have a favorite song. It was definitely I'm the Villain in My Own Story.
Yeah, that's also my favorite song.
Yeah. I did what is it? I'm going by?
Getting By.
Getting By. Getting By was funny.
Yeah, Getting By is funny.
I'm the Villain in My Own Story kind of felt
It's the song you've been waiting for.
Yes! Yes! It was I literally just in my head, I was finally! We are here.
My favorite line from it is, I told myself I was Jasmine, but I realize now I'm Jafar.
Yes. I mean, a decent amount of my favorite lines were really from that song. I just was it's just the song itself.
Yeah, the song is very good.
I also like the gag of them stopping the song to have a conversation about no, we're doing the fairy tale thing.
We're not doing Paula's rom-com thing.
Yes.
Other thing.
And then Leslie's okay, I got it. I'm the princess. Yeah, no, that was really good.
I have one most ridiculous moment.
Me too. Mine's more conceptual.
Mine is Darryl singing "Getting By" to his coworkers. So Darryl calling a meeting to confess to his coworkers that he is bisexual.
I have two ridiculous moments. Darryl came out to his coworkers in a staff meeting. Yeah, no, that's just ridiculous. Mm-hmm. It's actually almost as ridiculous as, oh, you sent the wrong text? Girl, you got to handle that right now. But we're in the middle of court. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Yeah, really, the most ridiculous thing to me about this entire episode was that, like, Rebecca finally got there, and Paula didn't.
Yeah.
What? Like, I understand Paula's blindness, because she's, like, madly in love with him, but, like, Paula, you've got to, like, see this, and just, she is blinded by just her desire to win, like, or something. Yeah. I mean, it's weird.
It is weird. No, that's a good one.
I got 2 losers, 2 winners.
I have 3 losers.
And
I almost didn't choose a winner, and I only wrote down one with a question mark.
You're going to add some winners, I suspect.
Okay, great.
Losers, Rebecca.
100%. She's in a bad place right now.
Oh, I did have one
Although
more thing.
Talking to her therapist is good, I guess.
Agreed. I had 2 questions that we skipped over, but it's a good time. We already talked about the 2.5 star thing, which I didn't understand.
Yeah.
So, there was a song that you really loved a few episodes back called You Stupid Bitch, You Ruined Everything.
Yeah.
Does that not feel more appropriate for this episode?
Yeah.
Because, like, as this thing happened, I was like, oh, this is where You Stupid Bitch, You Ruined Everything.
And actually, although I do think that there's something to having already shown us that song,
yes.
Because when Rebecca is having that negative self-talk in her head, like, he doesn't love you, I think that is, like, we're supposed to be replaying
continuation.
That song. A reprise of that song in this episode would have been
especially with, like, now it's not just you ruined everything between us. Like, you ruined Valencia's happiness. You ruined Josh's happiness. You ruined your own happiness. Like, that feels like more of a you ruined everything and I'm getting what I deserve. And even that could have segued into
I think that the step from you ruined everything, you stupid bitch, to the villain in my own story is an important one, though. Because she's in You Stupid Bitch, it's like self-loathing. Like, I did a thing, I fucked up, I didn't get the thing I wanted.
Yeah, it's all centered around her happiness.
Yeah. And in the villain in my own story, it's like, oh, I didn't just, like, fuck up my thing. Like, I am the villain that causes things to happen.
Well, and that's why I guess I wanted at least the reprise.
Yeah,
like,
no, I think you're right. A reprise would be excellent.
Yeah, don't just think now, like, I didn't just fuck everything up for me. I made Josh unhappy. Yeah. I made Valencia unhappy. Like, yeah. So, yeah, that was definitely my question. Second loser, I am guessing Josh.
Yeah. I think, for all the reasons that we said, that, like, I don't think that he's happy with Valencia, and he, like, went through this, like, agonizing thing only to be right back where he started, unhappy with Valencia.
Totally fair. Is your third loser Greg?
Yeah.
Boom! Nailed 3 for 3. Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't have Greg?
I don't have Greg.
Just that thing that she said about how, but that's what you always do. He was like, fuck. He didn't get what he wanted, and he's now feeling that.
Yeah. I think the thing that I did appreciate about Greg in a way that I don't appreciate about Rebecca is that, like, Greg's concern was, what can I do to help Heather? Mm-hmm. I know I fucked up. I know I was wrong, but he was actually, like, trying to comfort her as opposed to thinking about himself in a way that, like, Rebecca's not really concerned with whether or not Josh is or Valencia is miserable. Yeah. She just doesn't want to be miserable.
Yeah.
So I didn't put him as a winner, but I didn't have him as a loser. I actually have Valencia here as a loser.
You have her as a loser.
I do. So one of 2 scenarios is happening. One, she's okay with this because she's doing something terrible on the side, and now it's just like, we're even. Or 2, you already expected this of him. Like, she already expected this of Rebecca. This is what she accused her of doing. Mm-hmm. And you're not bothered by this because this is kind of who you think Josh is.
Yeah.
Neither one of those seem good.
That's fair.
Yeah.
She was my question winner, which I didn't mark her as a winner because I think that she is just as unhappy in this relationship as Josh is. She got cheated on, she found out about it, etc.
She thought she was going to get proposed to.
And I think that, like, she also had this, like, oh, I've matured and I'm, like, more forgiving, but I don't actually think that that's real.
I do think the forgiving is real. I think the part that for her that is bad is that, like, I don't think she sees the way that other people see her.
Yeah.
So, like, when she's like, I don't like that, like, she doesn't realize that she's really bitchy.
Yeah.
So, like, she's just being her, and I think she doesn't realize how unhappy that makes Josh, because, like, well, like, this is just, it's kind of like how she talks about, like, I don't know why girls don't like me. It's like, really? Yeah. You don't? And even in that Girls Gotta Stick Together, she's, like, kind of shitty to all of them, but I don't think she thinks she is.
Yeah. But she did seemingly get what she wanted in this episode, which was back together with Josh.
Well, they didn't break up, and what she wanted was a proposal.
That's true.
He didn't lose anything.
Well, then I don't have any winners. Who do you got?
White Josh.
Yeah.
I told you you're going to be adding some winners. And Darryl.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Like, truthfully, they got to the spot that you were like, it wasn't like, it very much reminds me of Snow and Charming. Yeah, they're not like in the fairy tale land, but they're at a spot where like, oh, okay, now we can go forward, even if it's together or separate.
I actually think that what happened between them is like very nuanced and like they met in the middle.
Yeah.
Because like Darryl was like, we are in a serious relationship and we're going to fancy restaurants and I'm taking this very seriously.
Josh is like, I just kind of think you're cute.
Yeah, but then Josh is like, I actually do really like you and think that you're very sweet and like we should date. But also, we don't need to be dating like that. And I think Darryl's a lot more relaxed now. And
Darryl went from, this is super serious, we're going to go to Silver Anniversary, to like, okay, like I tried some other people, but I like you a little bit more, let's see where this goes. Yeah. Like, they both basically brought each other to the middle.
All right, yeah, you win. You win the winners.
And also, like, it's a good juxtaposition of like, well, that's what a healthy relationship looks like. Even though there's some weird twists and turns, they don't feel toxic.
Yeah, no.
Josh, Rebecca, and Valencia feel toxic.
Well, I think because White Josh is very good at communicating.
Yeah, he really is.
And even when he's not, like, because I don't think that he realized that he was having more serious feelings, but he's like, oh, I am now.
He also doesn't overreact in a way that, like, some people would be like, oh, God, you're one of those people who's still in, I can't handle it. He's just like, yeah, you're going through your thing. Do your thing. And then, like, even when or, like, at the end, he's like, oh, you could tell he was kind of, like, concerned when he started dating other people. He's like, oh, but you actually do like me more. Like, okay, I hear you. So, like, he just seems to be more chill in a way that is probably healthy. And, like, Darryl's a spastic psycho. But he gets to where he needs to go eventually. It just takes he takes the off-road path, for sure. They feel like the winners. Even, like, Greg and Heather don't feel toxic. They just feel, like, sad.
Yeah.
Like, Greg is perpetually sad, and Heather is sad right now. They're, like, sad adjacent.
Yeah.
But not toxic.
Well, next time we will watch Season 1, Episode 15, Josh Has No Idea Where I Am.
I was really looking forward to an episode that didn't involve Rebecca's obsession with Josh. Because, like, shouldn't this be the end point? Yep, I know. See, this, I was so happy. Like, oh, it's all over now. You're the villain. You've acknowledged that you're the villain. What you wanted to do was bad. It's time to move on. We're growing. But that's not what's happening, is it?
I'm honestly mixing up some future storylines. So I don't remember what this episode is about, to be honest.
I am very curious for the next Rebecca Valencia confrontation.
Yep, I think that's
because there's like before Rebecca at least could have a leg to stand on, that like, you're just mean to me. Well, now she has a right to be mean to you. So, and like, she can't really be friends with them.
Right.
Also, I'm very curious to see Greg and Rebecca's next interaction. Because, like, before he said, like, oh, Bunch, you're a terrible person. He's not wrong now. You are a terrible person.
Well, and she doesn't know that he came to see her.
Mm-hmm. Well, and also look at the way that they Greg did not want to cheat on Heather, so he wasn't going to do that until she basically gave him permission by breaking up with him.
Yeah.
Whereas Rebecca has been actively trying to steal someone's boyfriend. So, like, they obviously look at that differently. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's some intrigue on this one. I really want a third friend. I want like Paula is the devil on Rebecca's shoulder. Who is the angel on Rebecca's shoulder that like steers her properly? Is that friend a thing? Am I just wishing for nothingness?
I don't think you're wishing for nothing, but I think you're going to get something that you didn't ask for, but you're going to love it anyway.
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
All right. Well, I think that's it.
Please be sure to join us next time when we watch Season 1, Episode 15. Josh Has No Idea Where I Am.
We'll see you next time.